Well. It's time to review Karate Kid Legends. Oh my goodness. I know this has been a long overdue video. It's been a little over 2 weeks since the movie has come out. And guys, I've been just nonstop busy with Kai Hard's, the Cobra Kai documentary, with the Cobra Kai convention in New Jersey. It's just been a wild time. And I did see the movie on opening night, but I just haven't had time to sit down and review it. I've talked to people about it, but haven't made a video. And now it's time to make that video. And you're going to get my honest thoughts. You're going to get my honest reaction on this. And if you guys have seen my videos leading up to this movie, you'll know that I've been honest about my feelings about it. And, you know, the feelings weren't exactly super positive going in. But, you know, with any movie, I really always try to go in like open-minded and excited. You know, like I don't want to go into a movie thinking this is going to suck. I'm going to hate this. Like, what's the point? Like, why would I want to go into a movie like that? Like, I want to watch a movie with the hope that I'll like it. So with this one, I just went in, you know, clear-minded, like, I just want to have a good time. Let's just have a good time because, you know, there were a lot of things going into it that I'm like, but you know, let's just have a fun time. And the fact that I did the fan meetup, which was insane. We had like 15 to 20 people come out to the theater to watch the movie with us. We had this massive group of Cobra Kai fans that I put out a post that said, hey, going to the movie this time. I wasn't sure if anybody was going to show up, but we had close to 20 people, which was insane. And it was such a fun time getting to chat with everybody and interact and then watch the movie together. It definitely made the experience more enjoyable rather than if I had just gone myself. Just being there with everybody made the experience enjoyable and memorable. So that whole experience was memorable. As for the movie itself, you know, I had my thoughts going in, and this movie didn't change my mind. I didn't hate it. Like, it wasn't like, oh my God, like, I hate this so much, but like, I just really didn't like it, you know, because I kind of knew this was going to happen. Like, I think the reason why I didn't hate it was because I kind of just knew, you know, for a while, like I just wasn't feeling good about this movie. So it didn't really surprise me, seeing this movie and not liking it. It didn't surprise me that I didn't like it. So, yeah, I didn't hate it. I was entertained watching it. Like, you know, I didn't get bored watching. I did a review on Letterboxd and I gave it a 2 out of 5, which I think is the lowest score I've given a movie on Letterboxd. I think I put the Minecraft movie at like 2.5. But the reason why I give this like a 1 is because like I was entertained. I was like, you know, it was like fun. But like, was it a good movie? I don't think so. I really just don't. And if any of you enjoyed it, which I'm sure a lot of you did, and, you know, even at the movie premiere when I was talking to the fans, like, a lot of people enjoyed the movie, which made me really happy. Like, I'm really happy that people are enjoying a movie. And I would never, you know, say to someone, like, how could you enjoy this? Or I would never, like, want to take that away from somebody. So if you enjoy it, please enjoy it and love it, because we all have different opinions. We all have different things that we look for in a movie and different things that connect with us. This movie just didn't connect with me. I just wasn't a big fan of it, but for some people out there, maybe they were, and that's totally, totally cool. But if you didn't like it, I think I know why. I'll start with general, and then like we'll go like beat for beat. But like, you know, right from the get-go, I mean, and I've been saying this like over and over, and it still stands true. Like, The Karate Kid 2010 movie with Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith and the Ralph Macchio 1984 movie and the Cobra Kai series were never supposed to be in the same universe. But they decided to do that. And I, as much as I tried to go into this movie, like, you know, just forget about it, Drew. They're doing it, just whatever. I couldn't forget about it. I couldn't wrap my mind around how these two things could possibly combine. And I mean, I guess let's just get into it. Let's just like dive right in. And we could start with this is spoilers, by the way. We could start with the opening scene, which completely caught me off guard. And this was one of the most frustrating aspects about this whole entire movie, and probably the most like bizarre part that I really just did not like. I started off liking it. I was freaking out in the beginning, but then it went somewhere and I just wasn't. So we're gonna get into spoilers. So basically, and I have my I have it up here just in case I forget. I could read it out. So the film starts in the summer of 1985, where Mr. Miyagi tells the adolescent Daniel LaRusso about the origins of Miyagi-Do karate. So this is actually a scene from Karate Kid 2. And I swear when it said Okinawa 1985 and we saw this was a Karate Kid 2 scene, I was like, you guys, if you guys have seen my trailer reactions, you know how I react. I was freaking out. I was like, what the heck is going, like, I didn't know we were gonna get a Karate Kid scene, like that they were gonna do a flashback, and I'm like, where are they going with this? So, they start off with the scene of from Karate Kid 2 where Daniel is hearing about Shimpo Sensei, and they're using like different music, but it has the Karate Kid, like it has those themes like interwoven into it, but it's like a different track. It was just like really cool, like, and I mean, like, you know, they're right away like, let's pull on the nostalgia strings, let's grab the people in who love Karate Kid 2, and that's what they did with me. Like, of course, you know, like I fell for it. I was like, yeah, I love this. But then I was also like, where are they going with it? So I was really excited. I was like, wait, what? Like, the guy I was sitting next to, I was literally like, dude, wait, what? Like, I couldn't believe it. I just like didn't know they were gonna start the movie like that. And then what they do is they start to like, here, and I'll read the description, which basically it says, you know, Mr. Miyagi explains to Daniel about the relationship between Miyagi and the Han families. Mr. Miyagi's 16th century ancestor Shimpo Sensei, while fishing off the coast of Japan, ends up in China, which we knew. But then they add this whole new part about the Han family took him in and taught him Kung Fu, which was branded as Miyagi-Do karate upon his return to Okinawa. So, oh, God. This part really frustrates me. You know, the fact that you have this iconic scene from Karate Kid 2. And there are certain things that the Cobra Kai series has done with the Karate Kid movies where they may have like changed something or added something, but it never like really contradicted. It never like felt off. It felt like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, for example, Terry Silver in Karate Kid 3 was just insane, right? He was like, you know, terrorizing Daniel, this kid, over a karate tournament. So in Cobra Kai, they have Terry say a line like, you know, I was so like, you know, I was using cocaine and all these drugs that, you know, I was terrorizing this kid over a karate tournament. Like, they were just saying like they kind of like said the drugs kind of affected it. So like that's something that wasn't in Karate Kid 3. Like, Terry wasn't doing drugs in Karate Kid 3. And then, like in Cobra Kai, they kind of came up with that like as a thing to kind of explain something in Karate Kid 3. And that's fine, you know. I think the Cobra Kai series does a good job of like explaining certain things like that. But then with this movie, they tried to take this iconic scene from Karate Kid 2, where Mr. Miyagi is telling Daniel about the family history. And they've even referenced that scene multiple times in Cobra Kai, in the Cobra Kai series. But what they do in this movie is they expand that story, you know, and do something that we didn't see in Karate Kid 2 or in Cobra Kai, where they start to say, yeah, this happened, but it was Mr. Han's family that took them in. And we all know that that's like crap. Like, that's not what happened. Like, they just made that up because they just figured, like, we need to tie these two things in somehow. And I really don't like how they did that. I think it was just too, I mean, I understand they wanted to tie Mr. Han to Mr. Miyagi to make it make sense to have him in the story. I mean, I don't think I don't think Daniel and Mr. Han should have ever been in the same story. This isn't Spider-Man where you have like the multiverse. This is like supposed to be an actual realistic universe. So like, you know, Mr. Miyagi knowing Mr. Han and like, you know, that stuff was just made up. And it was so clear as day. They had a Mr. Miyagi AI voice. They added these animations. So it just kind of like, you know, I'm not going to watch Karate Kid 2, watch that scene and be like, oh yeah, and Mr. Han was the one who helped the Miyagi family, who helped Shimpo Sensei. Like, no, screw that. Mr. Han didn't. That's not a thing. That was never a thing, and I don't believe that. I don't buy that. Now, Terry Silver using drugs in Karate Kid 3, I could believe that. I could buy that. So like, you know, like Johnny like being like, you know, abused by or like verbally abused by Sid, his stepfather in Karate Kid, even though we never saw it, we get that explanation in Cobra Kai. I could believe that. But this I can't believe. I don't believe that there was a Mr. Han, Mr. Miyagi, anything, because they just made that up for this story. So they very quickly ruined it for me, where like, you know, you had this Karate Kid 2 scene, which is really cool. And also by having that scene be the very first scene in the movie with Miyagi and Daniel, I mean, like you're basically saying like Karate Kid, like we are gonna like this is a Karate Kid film. Like we're taking from Karate Kid 2. Daniel's gonna be in it. Mr. Miyagi, like you're seeing Mr. Miyagi, like, that's gonna be important. That's the very first scene. You're establishing this. You're also basically telling us that this is an important part of the story, which the first half of the movie, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. The Mr. Han, Daniel, Miyagi connection is irrelevant in the first half of the movie. It doesn't even matter. So that flashback basically like just means nothing. And you know, you even go to the marketing of this movie, Karate Kid Legends. You know, why are they calling it Karate Kid Legends? Because it's supposed to be Ralph Macchio, Daniel LaRusso, and Jackie Chan, Mr. Han. Those are the two legends. You know, the poster is Daniel LaRusso, Jackie Chan, and Ben in the middle, Ben Wang, who plays Li Fong. So you're promoting Jackie Chan, Ralph Macchio returning. Meanwhile, these guys are barely in the film. They barely do anything, especially Ralph. Jackie has more of a role, but Ralph doesn't. Ralph comes in at the last part of the movie. You know, so to have that Daniel scene in the beginning, that flashback, you're basically milking the nostalgia strings. You're getting us all excited. Daniel's going to be in the movie, and then you don't see him for so long, and then when he does come in, he just doesn't really do much. So that was very, very, very disappointing of an opening scene. Set unrealistic expectations. So then, my light almost just fell. So then we have the next scene, which is in the present day, Mr. Han is the revered Shifu, master of a kung fu school in Beijing. Among his students is his great nephew Li Fong. So now we know like the connection, because we didn't know how like before, like when they announced Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio in this movie, like, okay, but how is this Karate Kid gonna get tied in? So he's Li Fong's uncle is Jackie Chan. So Lee's mother is a doctor, arrives to tell Lee and Mr. Han that she has accepted a job in New York City, and makes Lee a promise to give up martial arts, as Lee's brother Bo was stabbed to death by a vengeful, defeated opponent after a tournament some time ago. So like we jump right into it. We're like, you know, right now, like we're here, we're in Beijing, and then it's like okay, now we're moving to New York City, and it's like we get like 1 minute. Okay, but I guess that's like on brand with Karate Kid, because in Karate Kid, you barely saw Daniel LaRusso in Jersey, like you just left. So I guess that wasn't like relevant to the story, but like I mean that was different. That was like a good movie. But anyway, and the very first thing, oh my goodness, the very first thing that I noticed with this was you had when you had that scene of the students in this kung fu school, there were these graphics on the screen that translated the words that they were saying. So like I don't remember what the specific words were, but like, they were talking in Chinese, and the camera zoomed in and panned through the students, and then these graphics popped up, like they were taking up the whole screen. And the way these graphics were, they weren't like regular subtitle graphics. Like, like sometimes when in films when they're speaking a different language, they have the subtitles like down below and like a simple white font. But this was like this like really big font that just like popped up all over the screen, and they were like chanting these karate quotes or whatever, and the way it came across, it felt like, I'm not kidding, I wasn't sure if this thing was going to turn into a musical. Like, I'm not even kidding. The way these graphics were, at least in my mind, it just felt like, is this like a musical? Like, what is going on? Like the way it was like, it looked like they were dancing, then the graphics coming up. I'm like, this is like a musical, and these are like the lyrics. It looked like one of those lyric videos you see on YouTube. So I was like really like confused by that, and I was like, what is going on here? And then we cut to Lee, who is our main character, our new Karate Kid. I really liked him. My criticism of this film doesn't pertain to him. I think the actor was good. I think he's a really skilled martial artist. I think he was charismatic in the role. Like, I think he did a good job in the role, and I think he has a bright future ahead. I think he could do well in whatever he does. And I think he could have and I think he made a good Karate Kid, but like, I mean, there's just so many issues with this movie that it goes beyond him. And like, I just don't think like, no matter like what he did, the movie wasn't going to work anyway. So yeah, none of my complaints are really with him. And then, I also have some other positives too, but let's keep going. So then you have Ming-Na Wen, who's the mother. She's just like the typical mother, like, don't do this, don't do the karate, whatever. Like, and then like, at the end she's like, okay, fine, like, you could do it, I understand. It's like we've seen this story so many times. It was like, it's so predictable. It's so predictable where it's like the mother, disapproves of the kid doing this, and then he sneaks in, and then like she ends up accepting him. I don't know. Like, we've seen that already so many times. And not that predictable is always a bad thing, but it's like when it's the same exact thing and there's like no elements of surprise. Sorry. When there's like no elements of surprise and it's just the same thing all the time, it's just like frustrating. It's just not even fun at that point. So then we have Bo, who is Lee's brother, who got stabbed, and like we kind of like uncover this throughout the movie. Like we find out like that his brother passed away, and then we find out like, how it happened. Like, they kind of like set it up as a mystery. And that part I actually found like kind of interesting. Like, it was like his brother competed in this karate tournament, and then afterwards the guys were so upset that they lost that they killed him. Like, that kind of like dives into the darkness of the Cobra Kai Karate Kid that we've seen, like how intense this can get. So like that I actually thought was like it was sad. It was a sad moment, but it was a cool concept that these guys wanted to take out revenge, like for losing the tournament. It's kind of like if like the Cobra Kai's attacked Daniel after in Karate Kid 2 after losing the tournament. Like, I just thought that was a cool premise, and I also think it gives motivation for Lee's character because he felt defenseless when his brother died, and there are a few moments in the film where he feels defenseless and he has to overcome those fears because he's been carrying that guilt and that weight of what happened to his brother. Like, I like that, actually. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, there's like elements here that worked. I mean, you know, yeah. Okay, so then Lee moves to New York. So in New York, Lee struggles to adjust socially at school. So yeah, like I mean, like, and this is where we start to see like the feel of this movie. Like, this does not feel like any Karate Kid movie we've ever seen. The people making this movie intentionally wanted to make it something different, which, you know, it's okay to like be creative and kind of like test out the waters, but there were a lot of things in here that just visually did not work for me. There were just like so many like different like cuts and, you know, split screens and graphics that we've never seen in any of the Karate Kid films. So it felt very like music video-y. Like, you know, there was a lot of music playing. There were a lot of songs, a lot of montages, a lot of like graphics popping up on the screen, a lot of like all the split screens and whatever. Like I remember like there was just like, you know, Lee was like walking down the street and then they like cut to that same shot like 10 different times in a row, but like different times of the day in different locations to show that time has passed and, you know, he's walking by himself. And it's like, it just didn't like work for me because it just didn't feel Karate Kid. Like, and it's like, I guess they were going for something new. But I wasn't really vibing with it. It kind of just felt fake and artificial. It just felt very like the kid's walking alone. Now feel bad for him. Like, rather than in like Karate Kid, the original Karate Kid, where, and even the 2010 reboot, where you see like, you know, Ralph Macchio, but let's not talk about the 2010. Let's talk about the original Karate Kid. When you see Daniel getting bullied and picked on, like, they don't just do that in a freaking montage of like him like feeling like he's not like good at school. Like, you actually see like, you know, between the soccer game and between, you know, the beach, like these different scenes that show him struggling. And I don't know, I just felt like there was, you know, a lot of like modern day music that just like was like, you know, with the montages, it just felt very montagey, very music video-y. So then Lee meets this girl, Mia, daughter of a former local boxing champion, Victor, who now owns a pizza shop. So, so this is going back to the stuff that was first came out about this movie. So before we found out that Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan were going to be in this movie, we got this like plot synopsis about that, and it ended up being exactly true. So like it was like a leaked plot, a rumored plot, but we weren't 100% sure if it was true, but it ended up being true. This kid moves to New York and teaches the adult kung fu, and the guy owns a pizza shop or something. And it's funny because when that came out, Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio hadn't been announced to be in the new Karate Kid movie. So when Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan were announced to be in the movie, it was kind of like, oh, wait a second, now what's going on here? Like, how is this kid going to go to New York to train an adult and then be trained by Ralph and Jackie? Like, how are they going to do that? And they did it. Like, they put all that together. I'm not saying they did a good job with it, because they definitely didn't. It was very convoluted. It was way too much, but they did combine all of it. So I remember, and it's the funniest thing, I was doing a live stream or a discussion video with Sean Chandler. Shout out to Sean Chandler, who is a great YouTuber, and we always enjoyed talking Cobra Kai Karate Kid. And we always felt similar about this Karate Kid movie. And before it came out, we were doing discussions about how, like, what are they going to do with it? We don't really feel like this movie makes any sense. Like, why is it happening? Is this just like a cash grab from the studio, just putting Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio together? And when we Sean and I went over the plot synopsis at the time. This was before trailers, before teasers, before anything. We talked about how It was going to take place at this pizza shop, and this guy, this kid was training the adult in kung fu at the pizza shop. So Sean and I were like dying of laughter. We were making all these jokes like, oh, so like in Karate Kid, they do like wax on, wax off. And the reboot, they do jacket on, jacket off. So in this one, they're going to do pizza in the oven, pizza out of the oven, flip the dough, turn the dough. Like all these, like this is kung fu. This is karate. Like with the pizza, open the can of sauce, close the can of sauce. And what did they do? They actually did that stuff. I was laughing so hard in the theater because Sean and I were talking about that in discussion as a joke. We were joking about like how it's probably going to be like flip the dough, move the dough, like, you know, just like what they do in every Karate Kid movie. But now it's like with a pizza shop. Like, how are they going to incorporate pizza into this? And that's what they actually did. And it felt so ridiculous. It was so funny. I will say this though. Between that and between some other things, there were some great memes from this movie. Like the fact that they did that, I have this new meme now where it's like everything is kung fu. I also love how, I don't love it, but it's like, it's funny how like most of the movie, it's kung fu. It's not even karate, and they call it Karate Kid, but it's not even, it's mostly kung fu. Anyway, like I have this meme where everything is kung fu. Like, for example, like here are my cough drops. Like I just open the bag, take one out, put it back in, close the bag, put it away. That's kung fu. Everything is freaking kung fu. Like raising your hand, that's kung fu. Just everything. And it's like, it's just like a joke. Like that anything you do in life, it's kung fu. Making a pizza, it's freaking kung fu. Like anything. So that's like something like I joke about now with a few buddies who have seen the movie. Like it's like if they're doing something, I'm like, guys, that's kung fu what you're doing. Or like, you know, just remember like you're doing kung fu or what, I don't know. It's just it's so ridiculous. But yeah, there is that, and then there's also the 2 branches, 1 tree, which I feel like the 2 branches, 1 tree thing, like that sounded more like the Johnny Daniel relationship, you know? Johnny and Daniel were like 2 branches, 1 tree, you know? The Cobra Kai philosophy and the Miyagi philosophy coming together. So, but I don't know. Now they're doing it for Mr. Han and Daniel. But I do use that term now with buddies. Like, you know, anytime we're working together, if I'm working together with a friend on something, it's like, we got this, man. 2 branches, 1 tree. Or it's like, if there's like a group of 4, it's like, yo, guys, we're the squad. We're 4 branches, 1 tree. You know, it's just like I don't know. It's just like a funny, it's like a funny thing that like I've been like saying. So like, you know, one of the reasons why like Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, I love that movie so much, is because there's so many memes and it's so fun and you can like joke about it and talk about it. And it's a good movie. I didn't like this movie, but those memes are funny to me. And like I've been using them a lot. So at least there's like something out of the movie. It's not like I completely forgot about it. Like now like I have fun things I can say with it. So yeah, like, you know, it's just like it makes it fun. Why not? That's what I like to do with movies, have fun. So, let's keep going. So, Lee and Mia start to form a relationship. Of course, because, you know, they got to. It's the Karate Kid. You know, we haven't seen this story before of a kid who falls in love. No, I'm kidding. Like we have seen this story. I was being sarcastic. The kid falls in love with her, whatever, and it was like, bruh, it was so. I actually had a few issues. There was one scene where Lee went into the pizza shop and he's like, hey, like, can I get some toilet paper or something? And then he was like, you know, he says this to Mia, the girl, and then she's like, well, like, you know, tells him the store's over there and like, you know, come back or whatever. Or the store's over there, and Lee says, okay, I'll come back after. And then like the next scene, he never comes back. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It was just like the editing, it was like weird because like the movie, like he says like, okay, I'll be right back. And then like cuts to the next scene. I'm like, oh, I guess he never went back, or I guess we just didn't see that. Okay, that was just something weird. Also, like this is like Disney Channel stuff, like, you know, or romantic comedy, like classic whatever, where Lee's in New York City, which is a big city, guys, big city. And Lee just happens to walk past Mia, who is like out in some like random alleyway, and she's like loading food from a truck, and she spills some of the food. It's like apples or something. I don't even remember. But she spills some of the food. And Lee is right there. Like, oh my God, let me help you. He's like right there. Like the timing couldn't have been more perfect. Of course, she happens to spill the food when he's walking right up. Like, oh God, let me help you. And then she's like, oh, thanks. And then they like hang out. Like, bruh, like, you know, there couldn't have been another way to do that. That just felt so cliche, so corny. Like, oh my God, she drops the food, the damsel in distress, and he comes and at just the right time. Yeah, I don't know, that like little things like that. I'm just like, you know, and it's like, if it was just like that one thing, you know, like that's not like the most terrible thing, you know. I don't want to like make it like, oh my God, that's the most terrible thing. No, it's fine. It happens in movies. But like, you know, when all these things pile up, it's just kind of like, what are we doing? So anyway, they start to hang out and whatever. And then they're confronted by Connor Day. It's a cool name. Mia's aggressive ex-boyfriend and a local karate champion. It's like so funny because, like, you know, they start talking about like the 5 boroughs, the karate tournament in New York City. It's like, it's just so funny. It's just like, it feels like a parody or a fan film. It's like, it feels like a parody of Karate Kid, like the 5 boroughs. And then you have Connor Day, who is like the all-star. It's like I've seen this movie so many times. No, like, well, not really. Like, I've only seen Karate Kid Legends once, but like, you know, we saw this with Johnny Lawrence was the 2-time All Valley champ, and then it's like Daniel had to face him. Now we have freaking Connor Day. It's like the same freaking thing. And instead of telling a new story, you're just telling the same exact story. And another freaking cliche, because they just wanted to replicate everything from Karate Kid. I knew as soon as we saw Connor, I'm like, okay, this is her ex-boyfriend, you know, before they gave any hints, because why wouldn't it be her ex-boyfriend? They have to, you know, I mean, that's what it was in Karate Kid, because Allie was dating Johnny, you know, like, and they just take the same exact thing and do the same exact thing this time. It's like, of course, like, it's so cliche, it's so overused. It's like frustrating. So then Connor punches Lee in the face, like, for no reason. Okay. And then his mom hires a tutor for him, Alan, who becomes his friend, which, like, Alan, like, is just like there for like comedic relief in the movie. Like, he was kind of funny sometimes, but like really he did nothing. That was just like kind of like a pointless character, I feel. There's just so much weird random stuff going on in this movie. Like, why, he's getting a tutor. Like, why do you have a tutor? And like that lasted so little. Like, they just didn't really do anything. And then Lee later confronts Connor at school, but realizes that Connor is a stronger fighter. Lee attempts a jumping spinning kick called a dragon kick, learned from Bo, but Connor counters and defeats him. Yeah. Yeah, so like Connor's like kicking the crap out of him. Which, like, okay. The dragon kick. Look. I'm not saying like everything in a movie has to be a complete surprise. But, like, there are certain things that, like, you know, when you use, like, all these repetitive patterns so much, like, as we talked about, like, you know, the freaking Mia's the ex-boyfriend and, ex-girlfriend, sorry. Mia's ex-girlfriend, and, like, you know, the girl drops the food and he comes to pick it up and he's, like, getting bullied. Like, all these cliches, you know, it adds up, and it's like, you know, especially when this is supposed to be this is supposed to be a continuation of Karate Kid, because that's what you're telling me. You're telling me this isn't a reboot. If it were a reboot, Daniel and Jackie Chan wouldn't be in it. But you're telling me this is a continuation. But you're telling the same exact story with like nothing new, except it's like new people and like as in New York City. That's pretty much it. And there's some freaking kung fu karate mix. But like the most frustrating part is like you had this dragon kick, right? Which Lee tries to do and then he fails, and then we get like all these like montages and clips and flashbacks of him learning the dragon kick and failing to do it, and you just know, that at the end of the movie, like he's gonna do that move to win the tournament, which he does. And I was actually joking around with my friends who I saw the movie with. I was saying like, guys, like the most surprising part of the movie was that, that dragon kick, that move, he kept failing throughout the entire movie. I couldn't believe that at the end of the movie, he actually used that move to win the tournament. Like that was the last move. Like that was mind-boggling to me. It was like, it was a joke because obviously it's the most obvious thing. And I'm like, guys, my prediction is he's going to win the tournament. Like we were joking like around, like saying all these things, but it's like literally it all happened. There was nothing in this movie that was surprising. Nothing in this movie that was like, oh wow. The only thing I think that was really like that I really found like surprising or whatever, or kind of like, oh shoot, like this is different, I like this, is the brother, like, how there was a death with this brother who won the karate tournament, and these people got revenge and like killed him after. Like that was like different. I was actually like, okay, like that I didn't see coming. That was kind of unexpected. But everything else was like so predictable and so overused. So then one night, Lee witnesses Victor being attacked by thugs sent by his creditor, Oshia, who owns the dojo where Connor trains. So, of course, now you have like the freaking crease of this universe, whatever. Victor owes him money. Like, I don't know, like all these like, tie-ins, like everybody's connected. And then these karate guys come to like beat him up or whatever because he didn't pay his debt. And meanwhile, they introduced this like sensei guy, Oshia or whatever. I didn't even know that was his name until I just looked it up. I've only seen this movie once, and I saw it 2 weeks ago. So I do want to see it again, just to. I don't know why I want to see it again, but I think I don't know. I like to go to the movies, and I have the AMC A-list, so I get to go for free. I wouldn't like pay like additional money to go see this. But basically you have this Oshia who's kind of like the crease of this new movie, but he doesn't really do anything. Like you see this sensei who like comes out and says like, no, he doesn't say no mercy, but he basically says like, you strike your opponent until he's down. I don't know, all this stuff. It's the same thing. Connor Day is basically training in Cobra Kai. It's basically Cobra Kai. It's like, okay, this is the same exact thing. But meanwhile, we don't even really see the sensei. So, then like, it's like, okay, then you start to put the pieces together. It's like, okay, now you have, Lee who has to attack these guys and fight these guys. And now he promised his mom he wouldn't do kung fu, but now here he is doing kung fu. And then Victor decides to return to the boxing to pay off his debt and save his pizzeria. Like, because his pizzeria is in jeopardy. Like, what the? Who cares? His pizzeria is in jeopardy. We go from the very first scene of the movie, Daniel LaRusso in Okinawa talking about Mr. Miyagi and Shimpo Sensei with, all this stuff, to now Victor's pizzeria is in jeopardy. Oh my goodness, what are we going to do? Like, what? I don't care. I don't care that his pizza shop's in jeopardy. Where's Ralph Macchio? Where the freak is Ralph Macchio? The movie's called Karate Kid Legends. Ralph Macchio's on the poster, and now he's doing this. He's trying to freaking save the pizza shop. Why do I care about the pizza shop when Ralph Macchio was promoted to be in this movie and Jackie Chan? I thought they were going to be training this kid, but no. We got to save the pizza shop, guys. We got to save the pizza shop. So, basically, Victor asks Lee to train him. Now, the movie's called Karate Kid, but Lee is not even training Victor in karate. He's training him in kung fu, because at this point in the movie, nobody except Connor does karate. Lee does kung fu. So now we have Lee, who is training Victor in kung fu to box to save his pizzeria. Like, saying it out loud, it just sounds so ridiculous. And it's like, I mean, call this movie whatever you want. Do whatever you want with it. But why are you calling it Karate Kid? This is not the Karate Kid. This is not, I don't know what this is. And here's the thing. Here's the thing, too. I will say this. I don't necessarily think it's a bad storyline of, like, let's look at that storyline as a whole. Guy meets girl. Guy likes girl. Guy does some sort of martial arts. And then girl's father is in trouble with these people and needs to win money to do so he gets back into boxing. But the guy asks, or the boxer asks his daughter's son, or his daughter's boyfriend to train him. That story in isolation, that's kind of cool, where the kid is like, okay, like, you're a great boxer and all, but let me teach you some kung fu to help you enhance your skills. And then the boxer has to, like, train and whatever and win the tournament or win the fight, whatever, and save his family, save his pizzeria, whatever. That's a fine story. But that's not the Karate Kid. That's pizza fight guy man, or pizza shop boxing guy. I don't know. It's another movie. Call it whatever you want, and maybe I'll be like, okay, that was cool, and like I had a fun time watching that. I'll probably never watch it again, but it was fun and whatever. But you're calling it Karate Kid, and you're having now the kid train this boxer in kung fu. And it's like, now it's like the story is like kind of centering around this boxer. And it's like, you're like, well, what are we doing? Like, where are we going? Where's Ralph Macchio? Where's Jackie Chan? What is happening here? And then they like, okay, well, let me go in order. So, okay. So like Lee like talks about it with Mr. Han over the phone, and he's like kind of hesitant, but then he like helps him, whatever, and then he becomes an employee in the pizzeria. Lee like works at the pizzeria. Okay, that's not really relevant. During Victor's comeback match, the opponent, following orders from Oshia, knocks him out with illegal hits, sending Victor to the hospital. Because of course, like the bad guys use the no mercy stuff. Like, I mean, it is kind of cool in isolation. Like, this guy incorporating kung fu into boxing. That's cool. Like, that's sick. That's a different movie. Lee is paralyzed by the memories of Bo's death, and he fails to step in at the hospital, earning Mia's disappointment. So like that, like I thought was like interesting. Like that like you're connecting things, and that's something new. You're dealing with trauma, something that wasn't really a theme in Karate Kid. So that I found very interesting. Lee's mother, who works at the hospital, expresses her disappointment in Lee's continued involvement in martial arts. Yeah. Mr. Han arrives in New York to confront Lee after avoiding several of his phone calls. This part was fun, but it was also like kind of crazy. It was like, Mr. Han like sneak attacked on Lee in his house and was like trying to like smash the crap out of him with a pan. Like they were both using like because Lee didn't know who it was. Mr. Han was trying to like whack this guy with a pan. It's like, it wasn't like sparring, and it was like I don't know. It was that just kind of felt weird because it really felt like he was trying to like hurt this guy. It's like maybe he was. I know he was just trying to teach him a lesson or be like, oh, like surprise, I'm here. I guess you didn't expect me, and here we're doing kung fu or something with pans. But it's like I don't know. It's like dude, like what if you had like hit this kid, and it's like, oh shoot, sorry, I didn't know that would happen, and then he gets a concussion or something. I don't know. Just felt kind of weird. All right, so when Mr. Han learns what happened, let me get a sip of water because this is just a lot. When Mr. Han learns what happened to Daniel, not to Daniel, sorry, Daniel hasn't even come in at this point. When Mr. Han learns what happened to Victor and Lee, he says, we got to get you back into martial arts, and you have to enter this upcoming 5 boroughs tournament to help his friends, pay their debt with the pizzeria because the prize money of the tournament, help with the pizzeria, and also to confront his past and whatever. Like now you got to get back into this. But the only thing is, the reason why this is like we can't just get ready for this tournament is because this is a karate tournament. But Lee only knows kung fu, and Mr. Han knows kung fu. So who knows karate that can help out in this situation? Well, Mr. Han visits Los Angeles to ask Daniel LaRusso for his help. And oh my goodness. It's literally like Mr. Han's just like, okay, I'll be right. Like he says to Lee, like, okay, I'll be right back. And then like next scene, he's in Los Angeles. Okay, let's say like this is a map of the United States. I don't know like which way you guys are looking at it because I know sometimes the screen is mirrored. But on one side you have New York, and on the other side you have California. So you're telling me that Mr. Han flew from New York to California, and then from California to back like that easily? And it was like you just like saw it in like one freaking like scene. It felt like it took him like 5 minutes. Like no, like a flight to California. Let's see, flight from New York to California time. A flight there. Let's see, it could be like 6 hours. So 6 hours there, 6 hours back. That's 12 hours. I mean, like, did Mr. Miyagi just not Mr. Miyagi, Mr. Han? Did he just like fly in, talk to Daniel? Like, how do you get a ticket that quick? I don't know. Like, we don't see like. Well, okay, yeah. Could it have happened? Yeah, and it did happen. Like, yeah, someone could travel that quick. But it's like the movie just felt so rushed. It's like 1 second we're in New York. Mr. Han's like, I got to talk to a friend. And then like the very next second, we're just in California. And then the very next second, Mr. Han's like, okay, I'm back. Like, it just felt, it felt just way too like, oh, well, he did it. He went from here to here to here. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just kind of ridiculous. Now, I will say this. The production design of the Miyagi-Do Dojo was incredible. And, like, it's really cool that, like, and it's unfortunate that, like, with Cobra Kai, like, they didn't have the budget to do, like, what this movie did, which was, this movie was able to recreate the dojo from Karate Kid 1. But at the same time, though, you could say in Cobra Kai that the dojo just developed and that they just, like, painted it a different way, whatever. But then in this one, they decided to go back to the Karate Kid 1 dojo, which is not a huge, like, thing. I mean, it's fine. It was nice to see it. It looked cool. It looked like the one from the original Karate Kid film. I think either way, it was fine for me. I know some people, thought like, okay, it should have looked exactly like the one from Cobra Kai. Some people are happy that it looks like the one from Karate Kid. I'm okay with both. They wanted to make it feel like Karate Kid. They just had more money, more of a budget to actually film in California, to actually like rebuild it more. Because Cobra Kai, the budget is not big, and they filmed that in Atlanta, Georgia, so that's why it doesn't feel exactly like the original dojo. But anyways, Daniel talks to Mr. Han, um, and like I'm like, okay, we're gonna like learn what Daniel's doing now. Like we're gonna learn stuff, but like we don't even learn anything. He's like I've already like I've already spread Mr. Miyagi's teachings, and that's it. We don't find out like where his kids are. We don't find out if he's still like actually teaching karate at the dojo. Like, is he still teaching Miyagi Do to students? Like, what is he doing? He was kind of just like gardening at the dojo randomly, and he kind of looked like he like hasn't done karate in like so long. I don't know. Like, we don't know. We don't find out anything. Like, we have no idea where Daniel's been, what he's been doing. He's just there, and he's just like, "Who are you?" And then Mr. Han's like, "I'm Mr. Han. I knew Mr. Miyagi, whatever." And then like they have this conversation, and like I mean, okay, let's talk about Daniel. Ralph Macchio was great, you know, and Ralph Macchio is always great, and to see him back in the role is cool. To see him in the Miyagi Do dojo, it's Daniel, it's awesome. But like, you know, they bring him in so late into the movie, they make him irrelevant. It's like, you know, the Cobra Kai series really utilized Daniel and really made like really developed his character and gave him like so much great stuff to work with. But this movie just gave him nothing to do. And then even like, you know, they talk for like a minute, Mr. Han and Daniel, and then Mr. Han says like, you know, Lee means to me what you meant to Sensei Miyagi. And like, you know, like Mr. Han's talking as if like, oh, him and Miyagi were like these best friends in the whole world. It's like, dude, you weren't. Like, that's not a thing. Like, it's not a thing. So then Daniel's like very reluctant, and he says, "I'm sorry, but I can't do it." And then Mr. Han says, "You will. I'll see you in the Big Apple, whatever." And then Daniel's like, "I'm sorry. Like, I just told you, like, I'm not going to go. Like, I can't do it." And then Mr. Han's like, "No, you'll go." And it's like the weirdest thing, because it's like Mr. Han doesn't even know Daniel. And he's just like, "You're going to go. You're going to go. I'll see you in New York." Like, why would you think that this guy who you just met, this stranger, is just going to drop his whole life to go to New York to train this one kid in a karate tournament that he has no involvement with? You know, like, I know Daniel's all about connecting, like, or spreading the Mr. Miyagi legacy, but, like, where's his family? Like, how was he able to just drop everything, his business at the car dealership and everything, just to leave and to do this, like, random thing? Like, he doesn't even know Mr. Han. It was just, like, one little conversation, and Mr. Han's just, like, so confident he's gonna come. And, like, you know, like, what if he didn't come? Like, that would have been awkward. But like, Mr. Han's like, yeah, I knew he would come. And like, Daniel comes like a second later, you know, because like, you know, it's like they could just get like a flight like the second of in this movie. Then we have Victor, and so Victor fully recovers from his injuries, which is nice. And then Mia and Lee reconcile. So then we get the training where Lee trains in both Kung Fu from Mr. Han and Miyagi-Do karate from Daniel. Alan lends Lee his rooftop garden as his makeshift training ground. Mr. Han and Daniel develop a new variation of the dragon kick to lure the opponent into a counterattack, which Lee can dodge, then reverse. So then we get like the scenes of Daniel and Mr. Han teaching Lee like Kung Fu and karate. And this is the point where now we have a different movie, you know? So the first movie, in my opinion, is the pizza stuff with the boxing and the Kung Fu and whatever. Now we have this whole other movie of Mr. Han and Daniel teaching Lee how to combine karate and Kung Fu. But meanwhile, I say it feels like a whole nother movie, but meanwhile, it's like so rushed because it's all these things are jam-packed into one movie. Not to mention the movie's only an hour and a half, which is very short. It's the shortest Karate Kid movie ever. It's a very quick runtime to jam-pack all these things. It was very clear, like with this film, they just wanted to like have fast pacing and go here and here and here. But I think it was way too fast, way too much going on. And I don't know karate. I don't know Kung Fu. it would have been cool to explore more of the difference between it, because like when I see the karate and I see the kung fu, in my mind, it looks like similar. It looks like it's all fighting, you know? Now, I know for the martial arts people out there, I know you guys are like, no, it's not the same thing. But like, I wish they had like explored that more. And I even asked, you know, I was watching with some people who do martial arts. I asked them like, was the karate and kung fu separated? Could you tell that he was being taught both karate and kung fu? And they were like, no, it was just like it was just like random stuff together. I was like, oh, okay. Like, so I guess that wasn't even a thing. You had like all these like training montages on the rooftop where like, you know, basically everything we saw in the trailer, you know, Daniel and Mr. Han training Lee in karate and kung fu, just all these different things. Music's playing, graphics pop. Oh my God, this was the worst part. You had these graphics popping up on the screen. 7 days left, 6 days left, 5 days left, 4 days left, 3 days left, 2 days left. All these graphics popping up that were like basically just rushing through everything until the tournament. So it's like instead of actually like using the training to develop the character and like actually like sit with it and learn about the kung fu and karate combination, we just get all these montages and graphics that like, because we got to get to the tournament, so who cares? But like, I care. I want to see how Lee learns karate. But no. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, there's a spider. Oh my god, there's a spider. Wait, one second. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Oh my god, I'm terrified. Oh shit, where'd it go? You gotta be kidding me. Oh, I see it. Ah! Anyway. Did I get it? Alright. Alright, anyway. um, Sorry, now I gotta keep my guards up. Okay, I think we're good now. What were we saying? Yes, you have like these graphics that pop up on the screen. It's like 5 days left, 4 days left, 3 days left, and it just like it's so you just skip through everything, and it's like, no, like I want to see these scenes. I want to see him learning, but no, you just skip through it. And then you have this one scene where Jackie Chan and Daniel LaRusso are struggling to teach Lee, like, because they both have their own philosophies. It literally feels like the Daniel Johnny thing. Like, we've seen this already with Daniel and Johnny. And then, like, Mr. Han is like, no, like, this is how you do it. And then he, like, throws Lee to the ground or punches him or kicks him or something. And then Daniel's like, no, this is how you do it. And then Daniel throws Lee to the ground and punches him or kicks him. And then Mr. Han, and they keep going back and forth, beating up Lee just to, like, prove a point. And that felt very out of character for Daniel. Like, Daniel would never, like, he was consistently, like, doing these hard moves on Lee, like, consistently over and over just to prove a point to Mr. Han. And that just felt very out of character for Daniel, like, because, like, he was, like, actually hurting him. So that part, like, it was supposed to be a comedy. It was supposed to be played for laughs. But I was like, no, that doesn't really feel in character for Daniel. And then you had the scene in the trailer, which I was really excited for. It was basically Daniel and Lee sitting together outside the pizza shop. Daniel giving the headband to Lee, saying 2 branches, 1 tree, whatever, you know, my favorite meme. And I was excited because it seemed like it was like an emotional scene coming. And in the trailer, they just set up a little bit of it. But what did they do? When you watch the movie, that's the scene. What you see in the trailer, Daniel hands Lee the headband and says 2 branches, 1 tree. That's literally like all it is. It's like, I thought that was just like a snippet of an entire scene, but literally what you see in the trailer of Daniel, that's him in the entire movie. He does nothing. He really just does, like, I mean, he trains the kid in karate, but that's it. It's like, there's no arc for him, which is like really like just a disservice. Like, you're calling it Karate Kid Legends. You're bringing Ralph Macchio back, and to just have him not like be like so important to the story and show up so late is just really like what? Why are you doing that? Anyway, all right. So we have all these montages, whatever. 2 seconds later, we're at the tournament. So now Lee's fighting the 5 boroughs. And this like is like really weird. Like there's these like graphics that appear on screen, like, you know, these points, and it feels like a video game, and it feels just so fake. It's like, what's up with these graphics? You know, not that graphics couldn't have worked, but these graphics just felt so like bright and whatever, and it felt like a music video. It felt like a lyric video. I don't know. It was just really weird. So you have all these graphics, and then you barely see like any of the fights. Like Lee just like does like a few fights, and then he gets there in like a second. Like he gets to the finals, whatever. There's one point where Mr. Han and Ralph Macchio or Daniel LaRusso, whatever, I don't know. I keep mixing up the names, but where they like actually get into a fight with the guys like on the mat because like the evil sensei was like, go get them. I don't know. So like we see like Mr. Han and Daniel fight together. I don't know. Just like it's very quick. It's just like, here we go. We're going to this and then that and that. We're not really sitting with anything. Like the last part of the movie with the tournament, just like it's like so much stuff, and it's just like what is going on here? Oh wait. Yeah, so Lee makes his way to the finals against Connor, which, big surprise. Oh, she sends thugs to attack Lee, but Mr. Han and Daniel defend him. Yeah, so that's what I was talking about. And Mr. Han convinces Lee's mother that martial arts is good for Lee, as it helps him get over his tragic past. Okay, and then Lee and Connor face off in an intense 8-point match. Connor initially dominates the match, but Lee eventually comes back and manages to tie with Connor. In the final match, Lee then lands his adapted dragon kick, winning the match and overcoming his fears. Connor retaliates with a sneak attack, but Lee swiftly defeats him and then shows mercy, earning Connor's respect. So I will say this. The final tournament, the fighting was sick, other than those stupid graphics. Because then, especially the fight between Connor and Lee, you know, you're watching the fight and it's like, oh, this is awesome. And then they just have these graphics that just take you out of it. And I'm like, no. These graphics are taking up the screen and like you can't see anything else. I'm like, get these graphics away. I want to see the fighting. But I will say, in terms of like the atmosphere where they film this in New York City, it's like on top of a building, and it's like, you know, the sky, and it's like it gives you the feeling is like, you know, they're fighting on this platform, and it's not like if you fall off the platform, you just fall off the platform, you don't fall off the building, but they film it in a way where it's like it feels like you're fighting in the sky, and if you do fall off, you fall off the building. Like that's what it feels like. It feels, the stakes feel high for this tournament, which I really, really liked. I really liked how they did that. And then you have what's it called? Connor like hurts Lee or something, like hits him really hard, and then you have that iconic Karate Kid music, dun 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 dun, dun. Like you know, the Bill Conti score from Karate Kid 1 after like Daniel gets like elbowed in the knee. You know, so you have that, so like, you know, like the final move is coming, and then of course Lee does that dragon kick that's been set up in the entire movie, and he wins the tournament, of course. And then like Connor, then he shows respect to Connor. I don't know, like Connor was like, I feel like we could have gotten more with him. Like we could have seen a little more, like why was Connor such an asshole, but we just didn't. And then like Connor and Lee like bow to each other or something. They like respect each other, and that's it. And then like it cuts to black, and then like we get like the epilogue, which is later Victor opens a second pizzeria location, and then Mr. Han returns to China. So then we have the very final scene, in Los Angeles, which is I think this is like the post credit scene. Yeah, this is like the post credit scene. Um, so in Los Angeles, Daniel receives a frozen pizza delivery from Lee with a note and picture inside as a thank you gift. So, yeah, somehow a pizza from New York City got mailed all the way out to California. Okay, okay. Um, and then him and Johnny Lawrence debate whether New York pizza is better than California pizza. Johnny pitches a new business idea, a dojo-themed pizzeria called Miyagi Do, like spelled Dough, much to Daniel's, you know, he's like, what is this going? What is going on with Johnny's ideas? Anyway, um, this was the best scene in the movie. The Johnny end scene was the best scene in the movie. And now I know as I was reading that, I kind of sounded down. I kind of sounded like Johnny gets the pizza, whatever. But the reason for that is because that shouldn't be the best scene in the movie. The best scene in the movie has nothing to do with the movie. The best scene in the movie is a scene of Johnny talking about Miyagi Do pizza. Yes, it's funny. Yes, it's brilliant. Yes, it's great to see Johnny and Daniel on the screen together. But like, to have the best scene of the movie be a cameo at the very end that has nothing to do with the plot, and like, you know, when you ask anybody what they liked about the movie, they're always saying the Johnny scene, the Johnny scene at the end. That's the movie we should have gotten. I would have rather see that movie. I would have rather see 2 hours of Johnny Lawrence opening up Miyagi Do pizza than this movie. Like, that was the movie. Like, I watched that. It was a 30-second scene, and I was like, no, I want more of that. That's the movie. Like, because that was, like, funny, and that's Johnny, and we love Cobra Kai, and we love Johnny Lawrence, and that's what, you know, they should have done. They should have made a Cobra Kai movie. They should have made a Cobra Kai movie. The only reason Johnny was brought back was just to make a buck, just to, you know, Johnny Lawrence, William Zabka's in it, and then William Zabka will promote it and whatever. Yes, it was a funny scene in isolation. It was a great scene in isolation. But it's just frustrating when, you know, I don't feel like this movie should have been made because of how it, like, just contradicts so much. And I really just did not enjoy the movie. And then to have the final scene be Johnny Lawrence, and it's like, you're just bringing him in to just... You have the very first scene, which is Karate Kid 2, and then the very last scene, which is Johnny Lawrence. You know, it's like, you're kind of just like, here's a Cobra Kai character that you guys all really like. Here's a Karate Kid scene. Like, but it doesn't really mean anything, and it doesn't add anything. And it's also like, we just finished Cobra Kai. Like, Cobra Kai just came out, so it's like, you know, seeing Daniel and Johnny together, it's cool, but it's not like so impactful as if like we hadn't seen them together like a few months ago. Like, we literally saw them together a few months ago. If this movie had come out a year later, maybe it would have been like, oh my God, Daniel and Johnny are reunited back, like whatever. But it's like, I don't know. We had already just seen that. Whew. Wow. So that's my review, basically, of this movie. I did like, I know there was something I knew I forgot to mention. The character of Mia, I liked her relationship with Lee. I thought that was like charming. Even though it was like kind of cliche, it was a cute relationship. What else did I like? I think that's it. I think everything I talked about was what I liked and what I didn't like. I do want to see this movie again, just to like really like, you know, I only saw it one time, so it's like a lot of the and I saw it over 2 weeks ago, so there are certain things that are kind of fuzzy in my brain, but I feel like I remember it for the most part. It was a short movie, and like, you know, I've already seen this plot before, you know, in The Karate Kid, so yeah, I mean, I would be curious to see it again, just to see if like I like it any more or less. Wait, does that make sense? If at all, maybe when I watch it, maybe I'll like it a little bit more, or maybe I'll hate it more. But I feel like I feel like it wouldn't make a difference because I feel like I already knew the story going in. I saw the movie going in. Nothing surprised me about it. Like, it's like, yeah, that I'm not surprised. This is what it was. And like, I feel like if I saw it for a second time, I feel like it's like, okay, yeah, this is what it is. And like, I don't like, see, if it was like a situation like Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny or Rise of Skywalker, like those are movies in a franchise that I really care about, and I hate those movies. Like Rise of Skywalker brought back Emperor Palpatine and said Anakin's sacrifice meant nothing, and now Rey's gonna be the one to defeat him. Like, if they had done that, like that made me hate that movie. That they not only was it a bad movie in isolation, but they contradicted stuff from the original movies. This movie, it does contradict stuff from like Karate Kid Legends does contradict things in Cobra Kai and Karate Kid, like having Mr. Han and whatever Daniel in the same universe, like that does like contradict, but in a way it doesn't necessarily like ruin it. Like I just like won't like think about that. It's not like you brought back Kreese from the death and now Ben Wang is gonna Li Fong is gonna take him down. I don't know. Like it's like the movie didn't like, it was entertaining ish. And it wasn't like, it didn't ruin Cobra Kai. Like, I could still watch Cobra Kai and enjoy it. I could still watch Karate Kid and enjoy it. Meanwhile, if I watch Star Wars Return of the Jedi and I see the Emperor die, I'm like, it doesn't matter because Rey's going to end up freaking, like, killing the Emperor. Like, Emperor's not dead. Rey's going to kill him. Indiana Jones, when I watch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and Indy and Marion get married, I'm like, it doesn't matter because they're going to get divorced anyway. It doesn't matter, and then they just get back together at the end of the film. With this movie, it's like it wasn't really like any of that where like it completely like ruined stuff. Like the only thing was that Mr. Han, Mr. Miyagi connection, but that doesn't ruin Cobra Kai Karate Kid. I just hope if we get a Miyagi storyline, like a Miyagi prequel movie or a Miyagi show, which has been discussed, I hope that this Mr. Han stuff doesn't ruin the plans that the creators had, because the creators of Cobra Kai have always said that the Karate Kid 2010 is not canon in the Cobra Kai universe. And I don't think it was up to them to have Mr. Han, because they weren't involved in this movie. So I don't think it was up to them to have Mr. Han and Mr. Miyagi know each other. I don't think that was ever a thing in their minds. So now that Sony has established that, and I said, like, yeah, that's canon, I hope it doesn't ruin any potential story if we get a Mr. Miyagi story of like, now they have to explain how Mr. Han and Mr. Miyagi knew each other. Like, yeah. But those are my thoughts. It's upsetting. It's disappointing. I'll never like, I'm never going to like come out here and be like, you guys should all feel the way that I feel. Like, I really hope you like this movie, because that'd be great. Because like, why would we want to not like a movie? But I have to be honest, and I always am honest with how I feel. And like, I'm a very positive person. I mean, you guys know with Cobra Kai, I freaking love Cobra Kai. I love the Karate Kid movies, and I'm always very positive and happy and upbeat. At least when it comes to this franchise. And with this movie, like I couldn't like look past that, and I just had to be honest about my feelings with it, because the truth is I don't feel the same way about this that I felt with Cobra Kai. Like, I really connected with Cobra Kai. I did not connect with this movie at all, and it's just unfortunate. I'm not gonna like go out and make a bunch of posts and videos like, oh my god, this movie sucks, I hate it so much, blah 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 blah. But like, when I do make posts and I do make videos talking about my feelings, like, I'm not gonna hide that. I'm not gonna like pretend that I like this movie when I didn't. I think there was a lot of work put into it. I think the cast was good. The people behind the movie, I think they tried their best. Just didn't connect with me. And, it sucks, but it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. And hopefully, Sony realizes that give the keys back to John, Josh, and Hayden, the creators of Cobra Kai. Let them do something. Like, rather than tell another Karate Kid movie that has nothing to do with anything, like, let's continue the story and actually tell something that's, like, tied to this universe. You know, no more pizza shops, no more kung fu karate, Mr. Han, Daniel. Like, we don't need that. Let's continue the story of Cobra Kai. Let's tell a prequel to the original Karate Kid. Let's just do something cool and fun and something that makes sense and, like, capitalize off of the success of Cobra Kai. Like, why wouldn't you want to do that? You know, Cobra Kai was so successful, so you would think they would want to capitalize off of that. I don't know. That's just me. But I want to hear what you guys think. So this is my in-depth breakdown, discussion, review, analysis, whatever you want to call it, of Karate Kid Legends. Please let me know what you guys thought about the movie down in the comment section below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Were you in between? Out of 10, what would you rate it? I give it a 2 out of 5 on Letterboxd, so I guess that would be a 4 out of 10. But please let me know your guys' thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. Even if you didn't enjoy it, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel for more videos. Turn on all of your notifications so you never miss out whenever I post something new. Hit the like button, which I already said. Share this video with your fellow Cobras, Eagle Fangs, Miyagi-Dos. And just remember, 2 branches, 1 tree. No, I'm kidding. No. Just remember, everything is Kung Fu. No, I'm kidding. Okay, for real. And always remember, Cobra Kai never die.